Don't you worry, don't you cry. I can promise it gets better in time.
So, hi, my name is Michelle Joseph. I'm a writer, a podcaster, I'm a blogger. The blog that I published is Words with Michelle. I
Mhm.
started that in 2014. So, I've been blogging for 8 years in
Mm.
March. Wow. And then freelance writing. I've been writing like forever.
Mhm.
So that over 10 years, easily over 10 years. And podcasting, I'm new to the game. I started in 2020 and it's a lot of fun.
I can promise it gets better in
It's
time.
fun. I mean, like, the first year was kind of like I was nervous. Like I was told to do podcasting for like easily 3 years. And my insecurity got the best of me. I'm like, I hate my voice. No one's gonna want to listen to me. I'm not cool enough for anyone to wanna, you go through all that, the self-hatred or the insecurities. There's mainly insecurities. Because I mean, I realized um I know a lot of people. I didn't realize
Mhm.
that until doing this. I have a lot of people within my network and I can easily call upon them to be guests or even just new people. But the thing is just I was just nervous. I was just straight up nervous. I was very confident being a writer, but being a podcaster was scary because it was unknown territory. It just was like, okay, is anyone going to tune in for 20 minutes, 30 minutes talking about whatever topic I chose to talk about?
Mhm.
But yeah, I realized I got a lot of good feedback. I'm not gonna lie. I got people like my voice, so I'm happy about that. They like the
Mhm.
topics. So I'm happy about it. I'm happy I made that choice. I made that jump into podcasting.
Your shine, hold my hand up. It gets
To be quite
better.
honest, because I have a pool of people that I know, I can go to them. Or there's a lot of people that I don't know. Like I would say it's half and half. To be quite honest, I just go
Mhm.
online. I go on Instagram. I'm like, do you want to be a guest on my show?
Mhm.
With the last show, it was my friend's friend. I was actually coming up with a calendar for the year on what shows I wanted to do. And I knew I wanted to talk about education and children. So I was thinking, with the pandemic, COVID, everything's going on. I'm like, what's going on with education? Mind you, that's I want to talk about online learning, but that's not what actually we end up talking about. We spoke
Mhm.
about the overrepresentation and underrepresentation of minority children in special education.
Mm.
That's what she was doing in school. So I just kind of pivoted. I said, okay, what, I'll do online at another time. He actually brought me a guest, and I spoke to her. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. So you just got to be able to pivot and just be flexible and adaptable to whatever. Even though I wanted to do something in education, I decided, this is something that was of interest to me anyways. So
Don't you worry, don't you cry, don't you cry. I can promise.
it's weird. I went through a lot in the pandemic, to be quite honest. In 2020, I actually lost my job. So January, right before
Mhm.
the pandemic, right before it was January 15th, because that was the best day of my life. I was the
Mm.
happiest girl ever. It was January 15th. I actually lost my job. I
Mm.
was an employment specialist, so I was helping people look for work. I was unhappy for 2 years there anyway, so I was kind of like, it was
Mm.
such a gift. And then, I'm just nervous. I was kind of getting my feet wet, just kind of like, I can't remember how many shows I had, but I was just always nervous. I loved it, but always nervous. Like I was
Mhm.
completely nervous getting guests, just the whole setup of it. And
Mhm.
then, and then I got into the groove of it. I really got into the groove of it for that entire year. I knew I couldn't go anywhere. So I was focused more on that. So my blogging kind of took a back seat. I mean, you can get my podcast on my blog, but the interviews that I had my blogs kind of stopped, and the interviews now became the podcast. So that was fine. But then 2021 happened, and I lost my brother. It was so sudden that I
Mm.
didn't do anything. I'll be quite honest. I didn't do anything for months.
Mm.
Because I couldn't fathom what was happening. I couldn't handle it.
Mm.
So I don't think I blogged, definitely didn't do any podcasting. I think I actually kind of forced myself into it in say March or April, even though my brother passed away January 31st. I kind of threw myself into it in March or April. I did like a
Mm.
checking in type of podcast and it was pretty popular. I mean, people wanted to know what happened to Michelle. Like we don't hear from her, So
Mm.
what I realized is that I have a built-in audience. I have a core amount. I always call them the cult because it's not a huge audience, but it's growing. So when I got back into podcasting, it was a good amount of people, good audience. But then by July, the numbers kind of went insane, and I still don't know, to be quite honest. I still don't know why or how it jumped so much, but it jumped a lot. It could be the guests. I had some cool people I really wanted to talk to. It could be the fact that my podcast is at a wider, it's in different spaces, like not just what do you call it, Apple and Spotify. Maybe they can access it other places. I've done little searches, but it definitely got more attention, and it's shocking, but I'm very happy about that. But I think with it got me to meet different people and listen to different points of view. I think I learned a lot during this podcast because I've been educated. So what I want to take with that would probably go into my writing and stuff like that. Like it could be a novel one day, it could be a book, it could be a screenplay, because I'm kind of like I always wanted to get into film. That is something that I don't tell many people, but I've always wanted to get into film. It'd be a screenwriter. Director, I don't know. I think before I wanted to be a director. When I was younger, I wanted to be a director, but now it'd be a screenwriter because that's what I do. I write. So if I can get screenwriter, director up in there, that'd be nice. That'd be a nice mix.
Don't you worry, don't you cry.
I think, I guess I got to talk like personally. I guess for me to keep afloat is kind of like knowing the end goal, knowing what you really want. It is hard. I mean, there's always going to be obstacles. I mean, like I said, I've been blogging for 8 years, and it hasn't been easy 8 years. I mean, it's been fun 8 years, but it's always work. Like everything. And I remember I actually interviewed Tracy Moore, and I remember what she said. You do some work, and then you got to do some more work, and then you do some more work, and you do some more. So it was so funny that she said it, because I'm thinking that's exactly what it is. And she was talking about getting to where she is, because this work, it doesn't stop. It doesn't, and you're always growing. The thing is, if you don't want to grow and learn, those are two key things. Like even what I'm starting to do now, each morning is listen to a podcast. So right now, I listen to a podcast talking about blogging and making money and podcasting. So I think it's continuing to learn. You can't just say, okay, I know everything, and why hasn't this happened? Because I can easily say, why hasn't this happened? Or how come I didn't blow up yet? I can easily say that. I've been in the game for a long time. But the thing is, I realize it's your time when it's your time. Put in the work, still have love for it, because if you don't have love for it, you're not going to go anywhere. And that's kind of what I was saying with my job. I was happy that I was fired because I literally hated it. Like I hated my job. I loved my clients, and you know what I mean. But it was just the environment and working for someone else. I realized I don't like working for someone else. But essentially, I like doing what I do, and I don't. And you just don't want to compromise sometimes. Sometimes you just want to like focus. This is my goals. I have fun doing it. I meet amazing people, you know, and I feel very lucky to have a good experience. So.